Arpan, of course, has been making a lot of progress in this space. What you're doing to make sure that people know more about this?
We started work in schools 10 years ago. Earlier on, we had decided that prevention needs to be the key mandate that the organization would have. Because really, with so many young children experiencing this, prevention seems to be the most logical step that we would need to take. And so we developed a school-based program called a personal safety education program that we're now running in across 140 schools in 3 districts of Maharashtra ourselves. And the whole idea is that how do you teach children personal safety skills so that they can participate in their safety? It doesn't mean that the onus of protection has shifted to children, no. The onus of protection will always remain with adults, but because adults are not all the time with children and might not get a sense of what's going on, it's important to give children knowledge so that they are empowered to understand that what is the difference between a safe touch and an unsafe touch. What is helping them identify whether it's a safe and unsafe touch. So like we teach feelings, and so if you're feeling happy, it's a safe touch. If you're feeling confused or sad or scared, it could be an unsafe touch. And starting really young, because we are finding children as young as 3, 4, 5 are experiencing sexual abuse. So we start right from grade 1 as of now, and we go up right till grade 10, giving age appropriate information on differences between safe and unsafe touches, teaching them touching rules, action guidelines age appropriately. It's never all right for someone to look, talk or touch your private body parts except to keep you clean and healthy. If such a thing happens, say no and get away from that situation and seek help from a trusted adult. So we help them identify trusted adults around in their environment. Who can they go and ask for help? And most importantly, to remember that it's never their fault. And that is a very critical component, because a lot of children grow up into adults, and a lot of adults, and we work with adult survivors also, and we do therapy with them, and we found that there's tremendous amount of shame and guilt associated with those experiences, because they think that as children we didn't do anything, we let it happen, and what's happened to me is not right, and maybe I am bad and that's why something bad has happened to me. And then to deal with that shame and guilt through therapy can take ages. And so it's very important that they don't live with that impact, even if they experience sexual abuse, is to get the children to understand that it's never your fault. Even if you didn't say no and you didn't get away, it's not your fault. And so basically these are the safety concepts that we are executing in schools through trainers. What's also unique about our model, which nobody in the world does, is that we combine the model with an intervention aspect to it. So once we go and do these lesson plans with children, which are about an hour each, 4 to 6 lesson plans with children, we do individual sessions with every single child to find out if there's been any experience of abuse in the past or something is ongoing. And if yes, it gets referred to our counselors. Our counselors come in and intervene. We make sure ongoing abuse stops completely. We counsel the child so that the anxiety is reduced, the sadness is reduced. We work with parents to make sure that the abuse never happens again, and there's no scope for future re-victimization. So this intervention is also very important and a very critical aspect of the work that we do. The private sector is recognizing that they could also take up their bit and do give support to organizations like us. I saw a change this year specifically, and I'm feeling very hopeful and excited about it, simply because I have such a long history of raising funds. Almost impossibly, because 10 years ago nobody wanted to sort of even associate themselves to the issue of child sexual abuse, so much so that they wouldn't even want to say the words, "Oh, so you work on child abuse?" I'm like, "No, I work on child sexual abuse." "Yes, I got it, you work on child abuse." I said, "No, we work on child sexual abuse." And I've walked out of meetings feeling extremely disheartened. Like, how is this going to work? How am I going to grow Arpan? How are we going to do all this work that's massively required without, funds and without support? But it's been great because we got support from some foreign donors, that we got support from some Indian donors, and high net worth individuals really came in to support, and I think they sort of connected that, this is something that needs attention. And then once the CSR mandate came in, companies started looking out for good projects and good companies, and through a word of mouth, people came to know about Arpan, and I had some own relationships that, sort of worked in introducing each other. And I think today now we have a lot of corporate donors supporting Arpan, which is very heartening to see, and people making it their agenda. And I think that's what's required in this country today, that the people, the community, schools, educationalists, corporates, influencers of all kinds, whether it's Bollywood, cricketers, politicians, faith leaders, everybody makes child protection as a part of their agenda. The minute we do that, I tell you, we'll see a different country in 20 years. So earlier on, Arpan got incubated by an organization called Unlimited India, which basically helps startup social entrepreneurs consolidate their ideas and pilot their models and build their models. And I was introduced to Carl Johan Posten, the CEO of H&M, through them, through their advisor. And he immediately sort of decided to support us because the issue seemed like a critical thing for the country, and he said, okay, let's go do this. What's actually helped Arpan gain support from philanthropists, grant-giving organizations such as Global Fund for Children USA, or whether it's the Azim Premji Philanthropic Initiatives now, or Mr. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, who's been supporting us for now 8 years, I think is that they've been able to see that we've been able to create impact. And most of these donors have been on this journey, and I really look at them as co-travelers who've seen that, we've made considerable investment to think, develop a strategy that works, and make sure that we're measuring enough to know that, there is impact that's happening. Because finally, what really matters is that, are we creating social impact? And that is different from outreach. Today, Amit Chandra is supporting us. We've got Aditya Birla Group, Reliance Foundation, British Asian Trust, Mahindra Finance, ICICI Prudential, Eros International, Goldman Sachs. I mean, all the corporate donors who've sort of come in, and I would really appreciate them because, from a time when people didn't want to recognize this and didn't think that this needs attention, it's also nowhere a part of their CSR objectives. But yet they have said, what, this is important, let's go do this.